That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be looking back at the biggest sore loser moments in football. Of course, we're going to start out with Patrick Mahomes last week. Even in perfect Kadarius Toney fashion, he was offsides and the refs noticed and they called it. Basically what happens is that if a player's a little bit offsides, the refs will give him a warning, but if it's very obvious that they're offsides, the ref will give him no warning at all. And well, that's what happened with Kadarius Toney. And he was so badly offsides that he was blocking the ref's view, and this is coming from the head ref of the game, Carl Sheffers. Y'all know what happened next. I couldn't find the video, but basically during the post-game handshake, Mahomes was complaining to Josh Allen about how bad of a play that was, about how bad of a call that was, and basically just complaining the whole time. The saga doesn't end here, as he would take to the post-game interview and talk about the play, and you could tell he's a lot less angry, but he's still pretty angry, and it's a long interview, so I'll just cut it down to the most important part.
Like you can on the field. And for him to throw that flag, no explanation, no anything, and I saw the picture, and I mean, he probably is, barely offsides, but for him to take the game into his hands over a call like that doesn't affect the play at all, didn't affect anything. It's just tough, man. And like I said, man, that's a Hall of Fame tight end making a Hall of Fame play that won't be shown because we threw a flag on for an offensive offsides. And so it takes away from not only this game and this season, but from a legendary career that Travis has had.
Obviously, in the heat of the moment of anger, you have a lot on your mind, and really, you say stuff out of your mouth that you really don't mean. But I mean, Travis Kelce, he's already a Hall of Fame tight end. That play is not going to take away from his Hall of Fame career. That one play isn't going to take him out of the Hall of Fame. The saga would come to an end just a few days later, though, as Patrick Mahomes would apologize for all the actions. Heartfelt or not, we have no idea. Next up is the OBJ net situation, and oh boy, wasn't this a time to be alive. But we need some context before we go into this meltdown first. In week 15 of 2015, the undefeated Panthers would travel to New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. In this game, Panthers cornerback Josh Norman and Odell Beckham beefed the entire time, and both of them were at the top of their respective positions, and this beef would turn out to be one of the most entertaining player beefs we've seen in a while. During the next offseason, Josh Norman would leave the Panthers and sign a 5-year deal with the Redskins. People now knew a matchup between OBJ and Josh Norman was highly possible, and everyone circled their calendars for week 3. And as expected, the game was chirpy all game long. It was a back and forth game between both teams and both players, and it was all that we expected. But by the fourth quarter, Josh Norman had gotten in Odell Beckham's head so much that he was hitting the net, screaming, yelling, crying, and overall angry on the sidelines as his teammates and coaches tried to calm him down. There had been some headlines with OBJ before that, but nothing too crazy, but this was a totally new side of him that we'd never seen before. But he didn't have a bad game, as he went for 7 receptions, 121 yards, but he didn't score. However, the Giants would lose to the Redskins 27-29. But this moment with the net would live in every NFL's mind for that season, and it was one of the main storylines. Just 2 weeks later against the Packers, he'd catch his first touchdown pass of the season. So what he did to celebrate was go to the net and hug and kiss it. That next week, he would catch a game-winning touchdown pass against the Ravens, and what did he do this time? This time, he would confess his love to the net and propose to it, and from the reaction, it looked like the net said yes. These actions aren't really sore loser-like, but it's kind of entertaining and it's essential to the lore. But if we're talking about OBJ being a sore loser, we can cut to another moment in the 2016 season in the wildcard round. The Giants would make their way into the playoffs, but they'd have to take on the red-hot Packers team, and it was really never a contest. The Packers smothered the Giants 38-13 and would end the Giants season. After the game, OBJ punched a hole in the wall, adding even more drama to an already crazy drama-filled season. He's had some other headlines, but today he's matured a lot, and he even won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. We now go to the college football world, and in that same season, with the biggest sore loser moment in my opinion of this video. First, we need some context going into this. This was the first game of the season, and coming into the season, LSU was ranked number 5 as they were led by arguably the best running back in the nation and early Heisman candidate Leonard Fournette. Yeah, so LSU was supposed to be pretty good. They had some pretty high expectations. And coming into the season, Wisconsin was supposed to be mediocre. So with this, LSU was supposed to beat them pretty handily, but you see the score right now, it's 16-14, and, well, let's just watch the play.
On 1st and 15, Harris Harris gets out of that trouble and puts
Brandon Harris threw a bad pass and was picked off by Wisconsin defensive back Dakota Dixon. And if you know anything about college rules, if you have the ball and you hit the ground, you're down, so you're not supposed to be tackled. Well, this is where the big sore loser moment comes in.
puts himself in some more. Picked off by Dakota Dixon.
Incredibly dirty play, incredibly uncalled for, and a big sore loser moment. Now, the guy who made the hit, Josh Booty, would be suspended for 1 game, so at least he got some punishment. So